Mheshimiwa Priscilla Nyokabi. We will be hearing from her the journey of women empowerment rather. And she's been in this space for a while. She has made contribution towards lawmaking and ensuring there's affirmative action. And we know now that our constitution has given special seats for women. She's been there when issues of women will be discussed, from issues of political and governance, and we'd like to hear her perspective. Welcome, Mheshimiwa Priscilla Nyokabi.
We now have a facilitative constitutional framework that introduces devolution and also introduces the position for the women rep, the county women rep position in the National Assembly, but also introduces equality, gender equality as a national value, and introduces the 2/3 gender rule. So we actually do have a lot of things introduced by the 2010 Constitution. And so 2013 is the first election. And some other thing to note there is that the women rights movement spends a lot of time on the constitutional review exercise, and I think that's paid off in a big way. Actually, one of the things we don't have is the women rights movement of the pre-2010. I think the movement did not transition well to the post-2010. So a bit of the work with Professor Wanjiku Kabira and many other actors that went on to making the Constitution gender equal, that work needed to go on with the implementation of the Constitution. But let's go to 2013, when we have the first election. No woman is elected governor, 0. No woman is elected senator, and women only feature in the women rep seat, the 47 women rep, and also a few of the constituency elected members of parliament. And so 2013 is not a good election for women. Even many of the women in MCA level are also top up. They are also nominated. But anyway, luckily the Constitution does full top up for the county assemblies, and so all the county assemblies have the 2/3 gender rule met. In Parliament, I came in with that first lot of the women reps, and we quickly went into struggling for the 2/3 law with the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. And so had the Duale 1 bill and then Duale 2 bill. Women reps did not have an affirmative action fund. Remember, we are set up under Article 27, so there was need for us to have affirmative action measures. By the way, one other thing we haven't done very well is to unpack those affirmative action measures. What are they? Where is the policy on that? The President now has created the Ministry of Gender and Affirmative Action. This is a good time to go back and look at gaps, for example, the equality bills, the Article 100 law, all of those that have not been done. But we get onto the Duale 1 and Duale 2, unfortunately the bills don't pass, so we are back onto the effort for the 2/3 gender rule. But on a good note, we get the set of family laws passed, the Marriage Act, the Matrimonial Property Act, and also the Protection Against Domestic Violence. The Marriage Act is important because of the 18 years of marriage. We are also in a country. In fact, just yesterday, the President was saying that Kenya is number 2 in teenage pregnancies, and I think also not doing too well on child bride and FGM and some of those subjects. So 18 years for marriage is now what we have, and the age of sexual consent at 18 years. So the post-2010 has seen a lot of good legislative framework. Pre-2010, we had the Sexual Offences Act by Joaquin Dongo that also really did shape the GBV terrain in a big way and was quite transformative in nature. And then post-2010, the 2010 Constitution, women's political leadership starting to gain better freedom. In 2017, the second election of the new Constitution, we now have 3 women governors elected, so 3 pioneer women governors, and we have 3 women senators elected. And in 2022, the third phase, we now have 7 women governors and 3 women senators, but also 29 constituency MPs. And so the big thing with the 2022 election is what we had yesterday with the launch of the G7 strategy. The women governors have now formed a caucus of their own under COG to champion the devolution promise, but also the gender or the women agenda. And then we have more women in parliament under Kewopa. And so I think that the battle continues. Some things we are getting right, but we are still very far. On women leadership here in Kenya, we are at the bottom of the African countries. Even Somalia and Sudan have better numbers than ourselves. And so we still need to work very, very hard on gender equality. The president made new commitments yesterday, and I think that he will make the new commitments again today. And it's also very commendable that he's leading the celebration of the International Women's Day. And yesterday he committed that this parliament and this regime and his government will pass the 2/3 gender rule bill. And he also committed that the sexual abuse around children and sexual abuse around girls, FGM, teenage pregnancies, is something that needs to be addressed and needs concerted efforts of everyone. And he also made good promises around gender equality, including the opposite gender running mates for presidential and gubernatorial levels. And he completely endorsed the message of the G7 to G16, that we have 16 counties under the 2/3 gender rule led by women. So it's a mixed bag. On some scores we are moving forward, but on some scores we need to move better, and we need to fund this project.
Absolutely.
We need to give allocations on gender matters. Thank you very much. Let me end it there.